Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something fundamental to your success. The month ahead is like an unwritten chapter of your life. If you don't plan it, it will be written for you by forces outside of your control. And that, my friends, is a dangerous thing. Planning is not just a strategy, it's a mindset, a commitment to shaping your future with intention and purpose. You can't leave things to chance and expect greatness. People who are successful don't leave their time to fate, they plan it. They map it out. They design their months like an architect designs a building. So, why must you plan your month? First, because you have limited time. Every month is a precious resource that you must invest wisely. If you waste one, it's gone forever. It doesn't come back. But with a plan, you can use that time with precision. Second, because it brings clarity. When you have a plan, you are no longer wandering aimlessly through your days. You know exactly what needs to be done and why it's important. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. You can see the path forward. Third, because it helps you prioritize. The world will throw countless distractions your way, but with a well-structured plan, you can focus on the most important tasks. You know what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Fourth, it keeps you motivated. When you break down your month into manageable tasks, you have a constant stream of small victories. Every time you check off something from your list, your motivation grows. Fifth, because it holds you accountable. When you set your goals at the start of the month, you are making a promise to yourself. A plan is a contract between you and your future success. Sixth, it fosters growth. Planning is an investment in your personal development. Each month, you are pushing yourself to become better. You are expanding your skills, knowledge, and discipline. Seventh, because it's a tool for reflection. At the end of each month, you can look back and assess how well you did. You'll see what worked, what didn't, and how you can improve the next time. Eighth, it creates momentum. A well-planned month builds energy. It sets you up to succeed not just for that month, but for the months ahead. You're not starting from scratch each time. You're building on the foundation you've already created. Ninth, because it turns dreams into reality. Planning isn't just about checking off boxes on a list. It's about turning your vision into a practical, achievable roadmap. Without planning, your dreams remain just that, dreams. And 10th, it brings peace of mind. When you know you've got a clear plan, there's less stress. You are not overwhelmed by the unknown. You are in control. So let me leave you with this. Your month is a canvas, and your plan is the brush. What will you create? What masterpiece will you design in the next 30 days? Don't leave it to chance. The time to plan is now. Time is limited, my friends. You've heard it before, but I'll tell you again. Time is the one thing you cannot get back. Every day, every hour, every minute that ticks away is a minute you'll never recover. And let's be clear, time doesn't wait for you to get organized. It moves on whether you're ready or not, whether you have a plan or not. We live in a world where time is the most valuable currency we possess. You may lose money, and you can work hard to make it back. You may lose friends, and with effort, you can rebuild those relationships. But time, once it's gone forever. You can't earn it back, you can't borrow it, and you certainly can't waste it if you want to achieve something meaningful. The clock is ticking, and the longer you put off planning your month, the more time slips through your fingers. You might feel like you've got plenty of time to get things done, but let me tell you, every month, every year, it gets harder to recover that lost time. That's why planning isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity. It's the only way to make sure that the time you have is spent in the most productive, focused, and meaningful way possible. Think about it. Every moment you're not planning, someone else is. Someone else is structuring their day, their week, their month, and they're making the most of every single second. Are you going to let them outpace you? Are you going to let time work against you? Or are you going to take control, grab that time by the reins, and make it work for you? You see, the way to respect time is not just by acknowledging that it's limited, but by taking responsibility for how you use it. The true power lies in the actions you take now to make sure you don't wake up one day realizing that time has run out. Every month is an opportunity, but only if you plan for it. Clarity is the key that unlocks the door to success. Without it, you're wandering in the dark, unsure of where you're going, unsure of what you're doing. When you have clarity, everything becomes simpler. You can see the path ahead, even if it's challenging, and you know exactly where to put your energy. Think of it like this. You're about to take a long trip. If you don't have a map, you'll waste precious time driving in circles, taking wrong turns, or getting stuck in traffic. But when you have a map, even if the journey is tough, you know where to go, how to get there, and what obstacles might come your way. You're not guessing, you're navigating with purpose. That's what clarity does. It gives you the roadmap for your life. It helps you focus on what truly matters and removes the noise and distractions that slow you down. With clarity, you can look at your goals and ask yourself, what do I need to do today to move closer to this? Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the long list of things you could do, clarity allows you to focus on the essential few that will make the biggest difference. Clarity also helps you make decisions more effectively. When you know what you want, every choice you make becomes easier. You can look at opportunities, compare them to your vision, and decide if they move you closer to your goal or pull you further away from it. Without clarity, decisions become confusing, and you waste time spinning your wheels. But with clarity, decision-making becomes a powerful tool that works in your favor. The best part about clarity is that it's within your control. It's not something that happens by accident. It's something you create. It starts with a commitment to defining your goals, your purpose, and your values. It's about making sure that every action you take aligns with your vision, that every task you complete brings you closer to your ultimate objective. Clarity doesn't just happen on its own. You have to work for it, shape it, and refine it. When you achieve clarity, your confidence grows because you know where you're going and you know what needs to be done to get there. You don't waste time second-guessing yourself or wondering if you're on the right track. You've got a clear vision, and that vision fuels your motivation, fuels your passion, and fuels your progress. So, take the time to get clear on what you want. Define your goals, visualize the outcome, and with every action, stay focused on your purpose. Clarity will be the engine that drives you forward. Prioritization is one of the most powerful tools you have in your arsenal. It's the art of distinguishing between what's important and what's merely urgent. Without this skill, your time gets consumed by the noise of daily life. You end up putting out fires instead of making real progress, and you wonder why, at the end of the day, you're no closer to where you want to be. Imagine for a moment that you're given a set of tasks, each one with its own deadline, its own demands. You could treat them all as equally important, scrambling to address them all at once. But here's the problem: you'll never get ahead. You'll never move forward because you're reacting to circumstances instead of taking charge. On the other hand, when you prioritize, you take control, you identify what matters most, and you focus your time and energy on those tasks first. You don't waste precious moments on things that will not move the needle forward. You understand that every choice you make will either bring you closer to your goals or pull you away from them. So you ask yourself, what is the best use of my time right now? What will move me closer to my vision? By prioritizing, you create a filter for your life. You stop spreading yourself thin, you stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to the things that truly matter. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Not every task is worth your attention. The key is to recognize which ones will lead you to the results you desire, and put your energy into those. The beauty of prioritization is that it clears your path. It helps you focus on what's most important, and more importantly, it keeps you on track. It teaches you to let go of the distractions and the busy work that fills up so many people's days. The world will always be full of demands on your time, but your ability to prioritize will set you apart. It will keep you focused on the long-term vision, not the short-term noise. This skill also frees up mental space. When you know what to focus on, your mind isn't cluttered with countless irrelevant thoughts. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything you think you should be doing, you feel empowered by knowing exactly where to put your energy. And with that focus, you create momentum. The more you prioritize, the more you accomplish. The more you accomplish, the closer you get to your goals. So don't let life dictate where your attention goes. Take charge of your priorities. Recognize that your time is your most valuable asset, and that how you use it will determine the quality of your results. Prioritize what matters, and make sure your actions every day reflect the person you want to become, the goals you want to achieve, and the life you want to create. Let's talk about motivation. Motivation is that fire inside of you, that spark that pushes you to do more, be more, and achieve more. But here's the truth. Motivation doesn't just happen. It's not something that you can wait around for. It's something you have to create, nurture, and build within yourself day after day. Motivation is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the best part? Every time you take action, every time you make progress, that muscle gets a little stronger. It's like a cycle that feeds itself. The more you accomplish, the more motivated you become to do even more. You see, it's not just about how you feel in the moment. Motivation isn't about waiting for the perfect mood or waiting for everything to line up just right. It's about moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, because every small step forward gives you more energy, more drive, and more enthusiasm. When you plan your month, you're setting yourself up for a string of small victories, and those victories, no matter how small, will fuel your motivation like nothing else. You'll wake up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing that each task you tackle brings you closer to your bigger goals. The power of accomplishing something, no matter how simple, builds momentum that can carry you through even the toughest days. It's the key to unlocking sustained energy. When you feel the satisfaction of crossing things off your list, you'll naturally want to keep going, to do more, and to achieve even greater things. And here's something important. Motivation doesn't always have to come from big wins. Sometimes the smallest achievements, finishing a single task, completing a goal you set for the day, are enough to ignite a fire. When you create that momentum, when you see yourself moving forward, the energy you get is unstoppable. You'll start looking for opportunities to accomplish more, to challenge yourself, to step outside of your comfort zone. But this isn't a one-time thing. Motivation is something that grows over time. You've got to keep feeding it. The way to keep that fire burning is through consistent action. The more you act, the more motivated you'll become to keep acting. The key here is that motivation isn't something you wait for to get started. It's something you create as you move forward. The act of doing something, anything, propels you forward, and the more you do, the more you'll feel that motivation surge. So remember, you don't wait for motivation to find you. You create it through the actions you take, and the rewards you reap from those actions will only make the fire burn brighter. Each step, each task, each victory, no matter how small, will give you more motivation, more fuel to keep going, and more power to keep moving forward toward the life you desire. Accountability is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. It's the force that keeps you aligned with your goals, ensuring that your actions match your aspirations. Without accountability, your ambitions are just dreams, floating out in the ether without any clear direction. It's easy to set goals and tell yourself that you're going to do something. The real challenge is in the follow-through, the daily commitment to take the necessary steps to turn those goals into reality, and that's where accountability comes in. You see, when you have someone, or even just your own inner commitment, holding you accountable, you are no longer just hoping to succeed, you are obligated to. It's not enough to say, I'll get to it later, or else shall try my best. Accountability doesn't allow for wishful thinking. It forces you to show up, to act, to produce results. And that pressure, that sense of responsibility, is exactly what drives consistent effort. Without it, the path to success becomes too slippery, too uncertain. But when you are accountable, you are tied to your goals in a way that makes it nearly impossible to ignore them. Think about it. When you make a promise to someone else, you're more likely to keep it. You don't want to let them down, and that external pressure pushes you to do your best. Now, what if that someone is yourself? What if the promise is to the person you'll become? What if you're the one who holds the standards and checks the progress? The power of personal accountability is that you don't just rely on outside forces to keep you moving. You become the source of your own motivation. You set the bar, you track the progress, and you make sure that every day counts. In the absence of accountability, it's too easy to slip into excuses, to convince yourself that you'll do better tomorrow, that things will somehow fall into place without any effort. But that's not how success works. Success is about what you do consistently, not what you think about occasionally. The truth is, if you're not holding yourself accountable, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. You won't grow, you won't improve, and you won't reach your potential. Accountability, on the other hand, challenges you to rise to the occasion, to push through the obstacles, and to stay the course even when it's difficult. Accountability is what keeps you honest with yourself. It forces you to ask tough questions. Am I really doing everything I can to reach my goals? Am I staying focused on what matters most? Am I letting distractions take over, or am I prioritizing what will get me closer to where I want to be? The answers to these questions will either propel you forward or reveal areas where you need to improve. It's the mirror that shows you whether or not you're living up to your potential. But accountability also breeds confidence. When you start holding yourself accountable, you realize that you are the one who determines your success. You are the one who makes things happen. And that realization, that self-reliance, is a powerful force. It gives you the confidence to tackle bigger challenges, to push past limitations, and to break through barriers that once seemed insurmountable. The more accountable you are, the more control you have over your destiny. And it's not just about personal accountability. When you commit to being accountable, you're also telling the world that you take responsibility for your actions, for your progress, and for your results. People will respect you more, trust you more, and look to you as an example of discipline and integrity. When you keep your word and deliver on your promises, you become someone others can depend on, and that's one of the most powerful assets you can have in any area of life. So, if you want to achieve your dreams, don't wait for the perfect moment or for circumstances to align. Hold yourself accountable every day. Take responsibility for your actions, for your growth, and for your success. The accountability you create today will be the foundation upon which you build tomorrow. And in the end, it's the consistency of your commitment, your accountability, that will determine whether you merely wish for success or whether you achieve it. Personal growth is the foundation upon which all success is built. It's the process of improving yourself, step by step, day by day. It's about recognizing that who you are right now is not the final version of you, and there's always more potential to unlock, more skills to learn, more wisdom to gain. Growth is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong journey. The moment you stop growing, you start declining. Life doesn't wait for you to catch up, it moves forward, and you must move with it. One of the most powerful aspects of personal growth is that it's entirely in your hands. It's not about your circumstances, your environment, or the people around you. It's about what you decide to do with the time, energy, and resources you have. Growth is about taking responsibility for your own life. No one can do it for you. No one can push you to grow unless you're willing to make that choice yourself. Every decision, every action you take either moves you closer to growth or further away from it. So, it's critical that you choose wisely. If you want to grow, you have to commit to developing yourself, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Growth isn't just about learning new things. It's about becoming a better version of yourself, learning how to handle challenges with grace, how to develop stronger character, and how to use the knowledge you've gained to make better choices. Personal growth requires continuous self-reflection. You must constantly ask yourself, what could I have done better today? What did I learn from that experience? What do I need to work on to become the person I want to be? You'll find that as you commit to personal growth, the world around you will begin to change as well. When you grow, you raise your standards. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start attracting better people, better opportunities, and a better life because you've become better yourself. The more you develop your skills, your mindset, and your character, the more capable you become of handling whatever life throws at you. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to grow, not as threats to your success. Growth also demands discipline. It's easy to fall into bad habits, to stay in your comfort zone, and to tell yourself that everything will work out on its own. But the truth is, success isn't passive. It's active, and it requires effort. You must commit to doing the work, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're unsure of the outcome. Discipline in your growth means showing up every day, learning every day, and pushing yourself to become better than you were the day before. It's about taking consistent action toward your goals, even when there's no immediate reward. Over time, that discipline compounds, and the results will begin to show. In fact, personal growth is the key to achieving anything of significance in life. Without growth, you will always be limited by the person you were yesterday. But as you grow, you gain new abilities, new perspectives, and new confidence to tackle bigger goals. And this process doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. The more you grow, the more you have to offer. You become a better friend, a better leader, a better parent, and a better person in every role you play. The greatest investment you can make is in your own development. The time and energy you invest in becoming better today will pay dividends for the rest of your life. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for someone to give you permission to grow. You must take charge of your own development. Every day you have the opportunity to become a little better, to move closer to the person you want to be, and to create the life you want to live. The question is, are you willing to commit to it? Are you ready to make growth a priority? Because when you choose growth, everything in your life can change. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal for growth and improvement. It's the act of stepping back and looking at your actions, your decisions, your outcomes, and asking yourself one simple question: what did I learn? Reflection isn't just about reviewing what went well or what went wrong. It's about gaining insight into your life, your progress, and your direction. Without it, you might find yourself endlessly chasing after things without ever understanding why you're chasing them in the first place. Reflection is what brings clarity, wisdom, and direction to your efforts. When you take the time to reflect, you allow yourself the opportunity to learn from your experiences. Too often, people move through life with their heads down, rushing from one task to the next, without ever pausing to look at the bigger picture. They miss the lessons hidden in every experience, good or bad. But when you reflect, you create space for growth. You take stock of what worked, what didn't, and why things turned out the way they did. And then you use that knowledge to improve. The power of reflection is that it provides the key to understanding what truly moves the needle in your life and what only serves as distractions. Imagine if you could look back over the course of your week, month, or year and see with clarity the things that brought you closer to your goals and the things that held you back. When you reflect, you no longer allow your time to slip by unnoticed. You actively engage with your own growth process. The mistakes you made are not failures, they are stepping stones, if you choose to learn from them. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for you to ask, what can I do differently next time? Without reflection, mistakes are just mistakes, but with it, they become valuable lessons that refine your character and your approach. Reflection also helps you celebrate your progress. So often we rush through life with an eye on the next goal, the next challenge, the next thing we have to do. We get caught up in the hustle of trying to reach the next level, but we forget to appreciate how far we've come. Reflection gives you the space to look back at the journey and acknowledge the hard work you've put in, the obstacles you've overcome, and the growth you've achieved. This not only boosts your confidence, but it also re-energizes your passion to keep moving forward. Without taking the time to reflect on your progress, you can lose sight of the value of your journey. But reflection is more than just an assessment of your actions. It's also about understanding your mindset. When you take the time to look inward and evaluate your thoughts, your attitudes, and your beliefs, you begin to see where they might be influencing your decisions. Reflection helps you identify limiting beliefs or negative patterns of thinking that may be holding you back. Once you see them, you can challenge them, change them, and replace them with empowering thoughts and beliefs that support your growth. You don't need a lot of time to reflect. It doesn't require hours of sitting in silence or journaling endlessly. What it does require is consistency and honesty. A few minutes of quiet reflection at the end of each day or week can give you the perspective you need to stay on track and continue growing. The important thing is that you make it a habit. This simple act of taking a step back and asking what's working, what's not, and how can I improve, will elevate your life in ways you never thought possible. Reflection also brings peace. In a world that's constantly moving and demanding more of your attention, it's easy to get overwhelmed. But reflection gives you the clarity and calm to navigate through the noise. It allows you to see the bigger picture and understand that not everything needs to be rushed. When you can reflect on your actions, you don't feel as though you're at the mercy of life's chaos. Instead, you feel empowered to move through it with purpose and confidence, knowing exactly what steps to take next. So, take the time to reflect. Don't just let your experiences pass by without extracting the lessons. Your life is a series of moments, choices, and outcomes, and if you fail to reflect on them, you miss the opportunity to become the best version of yourself. Reflecting isn't about dwelling on the past, it's about using the past to create a better future. It's the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming, and it's the key to continuous growth and lasting success. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Once it starts, it picks up speed, and before you know it, you're moving faster, stronger, and more confidently toward your goals. But here's the thing about momentum. It doesn't just happen by chance. It's something you must actively create, something you build one small action at a time. It's the cumulative effect of consistent effort, and it's a game changer when you harness it. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, almost insignificant. But as it keeps rolling, it gathers more snow, it gains size and speed, and by the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it's a force of nature. That's how momentum works in your life. The more you commit to doing something, the more momentum you create. The more momentum you create, the more energy, focus, and drive you'll have to keep going. And soon, the actions that once felt hard or tedious will begin to feel effortless. You won't have to force yourself to move forward. It'll happen naturally, like second nature. But just like a snowball, momentum is fragile. It takes time to build, but it can be lost in an instant. That's why it's critical to stay consistent. If you take one step forward and then pause for too long, that momentum will start to slow down. In fact, it can even go in the opposite direction. When you keep pushing, even in small ways, you'll find that you don't have to struggle for progress. The momentum you've created will carry you. It will give you the energy and motivation to face challenges with a positive attitude, and the confidence to keep pressing forward. Momentum also builds on itself. Every small victory, every task you complete, every decision to keep moving forward adds to that forward motion. You don't need to make giant leaps. You just need to take the next step, no matter how small. Because when you do, you're creating a chain reaction. One step leads to another and another, until you're achieving things you once thought were impossible. Momentum is the force that gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it, that pushes you through the tough days, and that inspires you to do more than you thought you could. It's the secret ingredient to turning your dreams into reality. Now, here's the thing. Momentum doesn't require perfect conditions. You don't have to wait for the ideal moment to get started. In fact, the best time to start is right now. The sooner you begin, the sooner you create momentum, and the sooner you'll start experiencing the benefits. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you'll wait until everything aligns perfectly. But waiting for perfection is a delay tactic, and it keeps you stuck in one place. Progress happens when you take action. It happens when you make the commitment to move forward, no matter what. One of the most beautiful things about momentum is that it doesn't require massive energy to sustain. When you're moving forward, you're no longer fighting against resistance. You're flowing with it. What once seemed like a huge effort becomes routine, and your mind shifts from I have to get. You start looking forward to the challenge because you know that every step you take is adding fuel to your momentum. The result is that you feel more empowered, more confident, and more driven to continue. But what about the times when things feel difficult, when the weight of the task at hand seems too much to bear? Momentum is still the answer. It doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. Even on your toughest days, you need to remind yourself that one small action is all it takes to get the ball rolling again. Don't let temporary setbacks or challenges derail you. Keep going, keep pushing forward, and before you know it, the momentum you've built will carry you through even the most difficult times. In the end, momentum isn't just about speed or progress. It's about the mindset that anything is possible if you keep moving. It's about understanding that success isn't about big leaps, but about small, consistent actions. Every day you take a step, no matter how small, you're creating momentum that will push you closer to your dreams. The key to success is simple. Keep moving, keep building, keep pushing, and keep creating that momentum, because once it starts, nothing will be able to stop you.